So I decided it would be a fun idea to do an ink related series of videos in my channel. So essentially any video that goes into this series is going to be in some way or another ink related. So I get to talk with you about fountain pens and dip pens and all sorts of ink and maybe papers relating to ink and whatever else I come up with. I don't know, we will see, but it will definitely be ink related. It will definitely include some tea. We can talk about whatever I'm drinking now. You can tell me in the comments what you're drinking. I know, I'm a coffee person. I'm bailing on coffee. I feel like I'm cheating on coffee. But considering we're working with inks and with pens and probably detailed work in most cases, coffee tends to make me a little shaky. So I wanted to avoid the shakiness while I'm trying to do precise lines. So to show you what I will be using for this one, as you probably saw by the title, it will be drawing with a fountain pen. So I will be using the Midori cotton notebook, sketchbook. I'm not sure. It says MD cotton. Yeah, Midori cotton. It's just plain white. It's a sketchbook. The paper quality in this sketchbook is awesome. It is just so smooth, it brings out colors. It's not exactly watercolor paper at all, it's actually more for inks and markers. We're going to be using some water today though, so we'll see how the paper reacts. It's probably going to wrinkle a little bit, but as long as it doesn't completely dissolve, we're good. We will see. In worst case scenario, I will change to watercolor paper. And then I'll be using my ink brush. There's a pen tool one in the size small, as well as, of course, a fountain pen. I'll be using this, my little Campo Marzio fountain pen. So basically, main reason why I'm going to be using that one is because it's already ink with the ink I wanted to use, which is the Iroshizuku Shin-Ryoku Ink, which is basically this gorgeous green. And then lastly, just a towel to pat down the water I use. So now I'm gonna switch the camera around so you can actually see what I'm doing on the paper. Okay, so now you can see what's actually happening in the table. I'm gonna open this here. So I decided I'm gonna try out drawing some jellyfish because of the watery nature of this medium. I think it will look good. So I figured it would be good to talk about the tea that I'm drinking because it's actually a mix that I have been doing myself a lot lately. So basically, I heat up the water, of course, I boil the water, and I first add 2 two because I make quite a lot at once, so it lasts for a while. 2 tea bags of chamomile tea because it has a quite a soft taste. Then I add to it a few things like eucalyptus leaves, fresh leaves. I cut them up, well, just like tear them into little pieces and just put them in there. And I also like adding flor de Jamaica, which is this really beautiful purple flower. It usually comes dried up already. And then I like also adding cardamom as well as some calendula petals. Those are really good as well, and they bring up some really nice flavors in the tea. And ginger, I almost forgot. I also add ginger on the tea, and then I just let it brew all together, and it's absolutely delicious. So as you can see, I already did the outline on the first jellyfish. I'm probably gonna do 2. I'm gonna do another one somewhere around here. Just as if you were working with watercolors, I'm gonna be doing this in layers. This is the first layer that I would be doing, so I'm gonna not worry too much about form and just give it a quick wash. Okay, so I'm not gonna touch this anymore. Nope, that's it. All right, done with that part. And then now these are that middle part of the tentacles. I don't know a whole lot about jellyfish anatomy, so if anybody knows what these parts are, is this just part of the tentacles? I'll just call it tentacles. The parts that look less like noodles, I guess, less like the hairs that come out of the jellyfish. Okay, so now I'm gonna let this one dry for now. Actually, I want to take out some of this ink that piled up right here. Have it look more like a wash. You know what? I'm going to take this spare paper that I have right here and put it here, because it's clearly wrinkling, getting wet, and I don't want the next page to get wet as well, so I think this will help out. All right, let's do the second one while that dries. I'll do a bit of a different perspective on this one, maybe a little bit bigger since that one turned out pretty small. So a second time just to put in more ink. So a bit of a life update as well. I am currently in Bucaramanga in Colombia. Well, I've been in Colombia this whole time. Well, a long time. It's been already 5 months in Colombia. It's going really well. So Bucaramanga is a region in the mountains, and we basically came here mostly because of climbing. So there's a lot of good climbing here, or nearby here. I don't know exactly all of the names of all the places that we can go climbing. We have only been to one so far. We went to La Mojarra this weekend. We spent the whole weekend there, and we did quite a bit of climbing, especially on Sunday. We were climbing for about 6 hours. I think my body still hurts sometimes when I move, but it's so satisfying and just so good. I missed it so much. I hadn't climbed since we left Chicago. In Chicago, we used to go to First Ascent, a climbing gym that if you live in Chicago, please try it. At least, even if you're not serious about climbing or anything, just try it out. It's super fun. It's such a fun place. It's actually one of the things I miss most about Chicago, but just go if you're there. I actually made all my friends try it while we were there, just because it's fun. Why not? The people who worked there were kind of making fun of us because we would bring someone new every single week for a while until I ran out of friends who wanted to try it. And then, actually, that's not true. Basically, my goodbye party in Chicago before coming to Colombia was going to First Ascent with a bunch of friends as well. So that worked out well. Okay, going back with the water. I'm gonna do this part first because I want this part to be lighter. Since this is the inside of the jellyfish. And then, like I said, this is just the first wash, so I'm not gonna concentrate too much on it having the kinds of shapes that I want. I just want to give it the base color. I think I should have started these lines from, yeah, let's do that. Maybe to fill out the rest of this page, I will end up doing a quote or something. I don't know. I don't know any quotes about that have to do with jellyfish. I will look something up at some point and add it, because there's a lot of blank space and I think it would look cool with that. Okay, so now we have basically the first layer on both of the jellyfish. Let's see how this is. Okay, yeah, this is very wet. So I think I'm gonna leave that there for a while. Probably get some tea refill because I'm gonna drink that while I wait, most likely. So I'll be right back. I know what you're thinking. I leave, I come back, and the tea looks different. It's actually the same tea. It's just been brewing for longer, but it actually tastes better now. So now that this part is mostly dry, or dry enough for me to continue doing this, I'm gonna come back with the fountain pen that we started out with and do the lines that I want to accentuate again. So basically the body, the main body. Again, I don't know about jellyfish anatomy. Is this the body? Or would the tentacles be the body? I think it makes sense that this is the body. So I am accentuating these lines here where I want the darker areas to be. So I'm going to leave this part without a second line, but accentuate the circle in the middle. There. As well as, of course, the tentacle parts, because we're going to go over that again. That seems good enough for me. And then same with the other one. Is the other one? Yeah, okay, yeah. This can go again as well. So the other one, same thing. I'm gonna just do some of these lines. The other one, the lines stayed darker because I actually used less water once I went over with the water, but that's okay. This one is, well, based on perspective, this one is closer to us anyway, so it makes sense that it would be darker. Now I want a variety of the length of these lines, so it looks more interesting. I will bring this line up. This one will stay relatively shorter, and then of course a little bit here for that circle in the body. This I'm barely gonna add anything because I want the overall wash of the color to be lighter. And then tentacles. This is where you find out about all the weird voices I do without noticing I'm doing, and I edit later, but now you get to hear them. All right, that seems good for now. Let's go in with the water. So here, I noticed that jellyfish tend to have these like faint lines in the body, so I'm trying to imitate that without using more ink, without defining them too harshly with the going straight in with the fountain pen. So doing it just with the water. So maybe if I stretch out this color, yeah, exactly. I'm probably gonna add some music to this video because I realize I forget to talk while I'm drawing. Have you guys ever used Iroshizuku inks? Besides this one, I have also tried Yamaburo, which is a very popular ink of theirs, and it is gorgeous as well. And then I've tried the black one, I forget what it's called. I will put it on the screen so you can know what it is when I'm talking about this. Okay, I will leave that like that for now. Let's go to the tentacles. I think I need some more water here. And then of course I'd love to see videos of other people drawing with fountain pen or fountain pen ink as well. So if you have done this and you want to share it with me, please do. I think it always just looks so gorgeous. The fountain pen ink just creates such a beautiful shading variety. Like even here, it hasn't even finished, but you can see some shades of blue here, as well as the green in most areas, and then of course a variety of shades of green. It's just, it looks so good. And I don't mean to sound conceited about my own drawing looking good. I mean, the inks are just fantastic. Okay, now this one, same thing. I'm gonna try to imitate with the water these lines that jellyfish have. at least the jellyfish that I'm using as reference, which are, I have some old pictures from a long time ago when I first went to the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, and they had, I don't know if that was a permanent exhibit, or it was it's temporary, or it was like a special thing, and now it's not there anymore. If it's not there anymore, I'm sorry. It was great. But basically, it was that. It was a jellyfish exhibit. Not exhibit. They're live. What's it called in an aquarium when they're actually live, like in a jellyfish section? Anyway, there was just a lot of tanks with jellyfish going around, and it was, oh, they were so gorgeous. And I recently found those pictures. I thought I had, well, I didn't think I had lost them. I just didn't remember I had them. And I found them accidentally recently, and I was very excited. So I think that was possibly my inspiration for this. I kept thinking about how cool they looked. I've never actually seen a jellyfish in real life though. And I've heard of, especially growing up in Puerto Rico, not that Puerto Rico is full of jellyfish, but you hear stories all the time of people getting stung by jellyfish because they went in the water in the wrong season or something. I don't know exactly how that has happened, but I guess it happens fairly often, unfortunately. So while I was waiting for these to dry, I had the idea of having some sort of background wash, not going over the jellyfish that we already have, of course, but I'm just gonna basically put some ink here that I can then drag with water. So this one that I'm using, the pen is the Jinhao 450 pen. And then the ink is also from Campo Marzio. The ink is called Arancio. It's this really nice orangey, yellowy orange. I think I talked about this ink in my bullet journal setup, and I referred to the ink color in exactly the same order that I just did now. I can't remember yellowy orange. I had to mention orange first. So basically, you can see this is nothing too structured. It's just giving it a little contrast to the green. Sort of framing the green. That's a good way to refer to this. Now, as I am doing this, I am of course pressing the water tube accordingly, depending on how much water I need. And then reason why I'm doing this now in terms of timing is because now I can, while this dries, I can work on the last few details that I'm about to do in the jellyfish themselves. So then this will hopefully be dry by the time I want to go in and add the quote, which, by the way, also while I waited for these to dry, I actually found a pretty good quote about jellyfish. Alright, so now we're done with that. I'm gonna come back with the green ink. Oh, I love the variation of the shading of the ink right here. Oh, it's gorgeous. Okay, you'll get to see a zoomed in view of it shortly. Well, basically when I finish this, I'll grab the phone and bring you closer to the drawing. So this part that I'm adding right now, I am not going to go over with water anymore. This is gonna stay that way. Now I'm gonna go for the tentacles, which, ooh, that was horrible. That was good. Okay, there. Preferably for this, you want to use a pen that you trust the flow of. And there we have the jellyfish tentacles, for this one at least. So now I'm gonna add them for this other one. Yeah, that's pretty dry. Let me first add the details. So now I'm going to move the camera and give you a closer look at what has happened so far while we wait for this part to dry to then be able to add the quote. All right, so you can see there the details and the difference of the shading. You see how here it looks a little bit blue. Well, it's a bluish green, definitely. Here you can see all the shading, even slightly purplish it looks. All right, so that's what we have so far. Now I'm gonna wait a bit for the background wash to dry, and then we're gonna come back to do the quote. All right, we're back from a different angle. Oh no, I spelled heart. Oh well. Okay, so I think this is proof. You don't need to have good handwriting in order to be able to do calligraphy, because my handwriting is far from being the best, but I can read it. Right there where I did the 3 dots is because I cut the quote short. It was quite long and I didn't know if it was gonna fit, so I wanted to just keep the highlights, and this is where the quote is coming from. I got it from Goodreads. I literally just googled jellyfish quotes. Alright, so thank you for joining me in that. I like the way this turned out. It's not perfect by any means, but it's a sketch, and it's the first time I try out drawing with a fountain pen and water. So it was definitely fun. Now that I feel like I have a better hang of how to do it, I would love to maybe at some point make a bigger piece just using water and fountain pens, maybe combining colors more, I don't know. We'll see what comes out of this. I hope this inspired you in some way and you find a new way of using your fountain pens, because I know sometimes finding ways to use fountain pens can be a little bit hard considering the day and age we live in. We don't tend to write things by hand too much. Of course, I use them, and I know a lot of you use them for bullet journaling and journaling in general, taking notes, but it's so easy to just sometimes grab your phone and push a fountain pen away for later. Let's draw with them, let's do calligraphy with them, let's do shopping lists with them. Your favorite recipe? I don't know. Actually, recipe. That's a good idea for another Inky tea time. So, speaking of which, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed your tea and your drawing session, whatever you drew. Of course, tag me on Instagram if you'd like to do so, if you did some fountain pen and water drawing or just fountain pen drawing. I will put my Instagram right here, this side, yeah. Alright, I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day, and I'll see you later. Bye!